Hey everybody, it's Tyler with Meeple Mountain here, bringing you another board game review. This time from our friends at Weird Games. They've given us a copy of their new title, Bayou Bash, which puts you and up to 3 other opponents in the role of a gremlin in this swampy bayou race, where you will be competing for the trophy in the first place position in a track that you and your friends can build together. The length, the time of the game, entirely up to you. It's a really cool feature in the game. You're going to be working to outposition and outmaneuver and bump your opponents off the track and kick barrels down to them and knock over them or their fans, all in the name of victory. No fan and racer is safe in this chaotic, high-stakes race that you'll find yourself in here. So let's jump in and learn how to play Bayou Bash. Bayou Bash puts you in the position of a racer on this swampy track to victory, where you will be taking on the role of a gremlin, trying to take first place and gain the most fans. Victory in this game is determined by the number of fans, or small cubes, that you have placed on the track. As you take first place, do amazing things, knock your opponents off the track, or hit them with barrels, all of your many actions will gain you fans, and which take the form of these plastic cubes that you'll be putting on the track. This is wonderful because that is your key to victory. At the end of the game, whoever has the most fans wins. The danger is when your fans are on the track, they're in danger of getting ran over by other racers or hit by the barrels that you'll be setting on the track. Kind of, again, reminiscent of shells and bananas from a wonderful racing game that we all know the title of. You'll be taking turns playing cards from the Jockey deck that will allow you to gain the various resources and components in the game, be that placing barrels, gaining golden coins, carrots that will allow you to use your particular racer's special abilities on your turn, and the various racing dice. There are 3 categories of dice: a D4, a D6, and a D8. Obviously, the higher the value of the dice, the further that you can move, or you can gain this stagger dice. And we'll talk a little bit more about stagger in a minute. The danger of having a higher value dice is that when you use a dice, you have to use it all to move in one direction. So if you have a 5 and have to move in a direction 5 spaces but can't, there's no way that you could go that you'd fall off the track, you unfortunately fall off the track and take stagger tokens. Stagger tokens are these purple chits here, and for each of those you're going to roll for how many of those you have, you're going to roll the stagger dice, which is going to make you move in a set direction a number of spaces equal to your stagger tokens that you've collected that round. This can sometimes luck out and be wonderful for you and actually let you just gain further movement. Oftentimes, it's going to result in you falling off the map, which is a bad thing, and you don't want that to happen because you will have to take your dead token until you respawn next round. So there's lots of fun and chaos happening on the board as you're trying to place out fans, knock over your opponents, and most importantly, knock their fans off the track so that they are actually losing the victory points that they're gaining as they go throughout the game. It's a really fun, chaotic race game with a variable timer, which we'll talk about a little bit more in a second, but the gist of it is, while there are some recommended tracks that you can build, all these pieces are double-sided. There's the easier green side and the more challenging muddy or brown side of each map that you can build. You can build the map length to anything that you would like with your party. You can adjust this length to be much larger than the map you see here. There's additional pieces on the right, or you can shorten it to make a variable time limit, and I think that's a wonderful feature of this game. Again, rounds will be played with each player drafting and playing a card from their Jockey deck, which will be their actions that they'll take on their particular turn, while also surviving whatever has come up from the event deck. So let's go ahead and look at some of the specifics of this game. Let's look at a player character board up close, and then we'll examine the Jockey and the event deck so you guys can kind of get a feel for what's coming up and what you'll experience in a game of Bayou Bash. Alright, here we have an example of one of the player areas and what comes with it in a game of Bayou Bash. Now, try as I might, I can't kill this glare, so I'm just going to hold the card down. Don't worry, I'm not pointing at anything in specific over here. So here's your breakdown. You have your death token. If you fall off the board, this is what you'll have when you respawn. Your cubes, which are your fans. Here you'll collect your golden carrot coins, which you can have a max of 3 of these. It'll let you spend them on various special abilities that you can use each once per turn, or you can use them once per turn. And you also will collect any stagger tokens that you would take on your board as well. And these will be gone at the end of the round once you roll the stagger dice. As you'll notice, every character has 3 unique abilities that they can use on their character, which gives them a little bit of fun asymmetry. One of them is free, and you can use it on your turn. The other 2 cost coins, so you can spend your golden carrot coins to utilize these abilities once per turn to give you an edge on your opponents. You'll collect these by playing potentially certain event deck cards that will give you golden carrots, and also through the Jockey deck. Certain cards in the Jockey deck will give you golden carrot tokens, which is a fun aspect of the strategy in the game. So with that, let's go ahead and look at the Jockey and event deck and talk a little bit about what you can expect to find there. Here we have some examples of cards you will find in the event deck, as well as cards in the Jockey deck. Now, the game will always start with this gunshot event card at the top, and you'll notice it's going to give each racer a fan and have some ongoing effects. Now, these cards have various effects. All of them are super unique and fun and just add to the theme and the nonsense that's going on in a game of Bayou Bash, but this will give you just an idea of a few things that may happen. Sometimes fans cannot be placed on terrain. They may give you additional racer movement, or even allow you to move your fans around to get them out of harm's way, which can be wonderful. These cards will come up every round and will give you some kind of usually an event that happens right away, and usually an ongoing effect for the round that's going to do something for every racer. The events are really fun and can spice up the game tremendously. Now those are coming up every round, but each player is always going to be playing a Jockey deck card as well. This is the card that's going to determine how many dice you roll for your movement on your turn and what you'll be doing. Now turn order is always determined by who is in last place. They're going to go first, which is very helpful to get you moving and get you going so no one can just kind of run away with the lead. It's a chance for you to catch up, shove them off the map, and all kinds of good things that you can do. And you'll see here there's all kinds of examples of what you may find when you play your card. There's lots of options. This card, for instance, the chop chop to the top, is going to give you 2 of the d6s and 2 of the d8s, some of the best dice you can get in the game. That's great if you really want to run and maneuver quickly. Now the danger here is if you roll really high, you may end up running yourself right off the track, which can be really, really dangerous. You want to make sure you have some of those lower dice to maneuver. Electric Barreloo here is a good example of that, where you have some really high dice for long stretches and a d4 that would give you some agility if you need to cut corners and move diagonally, things like that. Also, you'll see the slow and strategic like is going to give you a carrot coin, and it's also, these cards both are going to give you barrels. We talked about barrels before, but when you have a barrel, you can place a barrel within 2 spaces of you, and if anyone runs into it, even you can shoot it ahead up to 5 spaces, and you'll knock over fans that are there, and you can even hit other players with it as well. So again, these can be like the shells from Mario Kart, where you can use them strategically to take away points from your opponents, or mess them up and reposition them, knock them off the board. There's lots of fun that can be had with the Jockey deck cards, and it all comes down to how you want to play the game and where your opponents are at on the board. I wanted to show the dice really quickly. Now, I've talked about how they work, but I just wanted to let you guys get a look at them and know the ranges of movement on them. There's D4s, D6s, D8s, again, as we talked about. The D4s only have 1s and 2s on them, which nice and agile, good for cornering, positioning. The D6s, 2s and 3s with some lightning bolts, which give you stagger tokens, which we'll talk about stagger tokens in a second. And the D8s range from 3 to 5 with some really high stagger token gain, which can be dangerous. Now, for every stagger token that you get, you're going to roll the stagger dice once, and you're going to have to move in whatever direction the dice tells you up to the number of tokens you have. So in this instance, I have 3 tokens. I'd roll the dice, and in this case, actually, if I align it correctly, I would have to move backwards 3 spaces with my racer. Sometimes you'll have to move at a diagonal backwards. You may have to move forwards. However you want to orient the dice, you have to move in a kind of agree upon an orientation of the dice, but you'll move in diagonals, angles, straight ahead. There is even a result that won't make you move, actually will give you a fan. So in a sense, that's a victory point again for winning the game. You may want to always keep a stagger token in your strategy so that you at least get to try and roll this and luck out and get an extra fan. So there's a lot of fun with the stagger dice as well, a little bit of a risk reward, push your luck, because sometimes you might get exactly what you need. You may be on a straightaway and get to move forward extra spaces, which is wonderful. That's how you can get the lead on your opponents. But the stagger dice can definitely mess you up as well. Very, very fun mechanic in the game. And that, in a nutshell, is how you play Bayou Bash. I hope you enjoyed getting a look at the components and some of the rules and how this game would play and what you can expect to see when you open the box for yourself. But what did I think of it? Well, there's a lot to say, and I'm going to kind of machine gun through some things here, but all in all, I was really pleased with this game. I think that Weird knew what kind of game they were making when they came to the table, and they really stuck at it. Positives. The game's rulebook is great. It's pretty voluminous for the size of this game. It means your questions are answered. I didn't have to go back a lot. Things were clear. They were well laid out, so very good job there, Weird. There's a lot of examples on map setups in the back. I think that is fantastic. I love, though, my highest praise, my favorite thing about this game is I love that the game map is buildable by you, and it's adjustable to the time limit that you want the game to have. That's really great. You have 30 minutes, cool, this game will work. You have an hour and a half, cool, this game will work. It's wonderful to have that variety and variability in the game, and it's great, and it plays well regardless of that length. It's really, really fun. Again, I love that this game has your fan management. It's not just about getting to the end. There's lots of fun to be had along the way because you're trying to get fans out there, protect them, get them away from other people, trying to bonk other people's fans off the map so that they're losing points. There's a lot of fun there. The game rounds are really quick and speedy. The event deck keeps things fresh and fun and replayable. The jockey deck, the drafting, the way it works is if you're in last place, you're going to draw a number of cards plus one. So let's just say it's a 4-player game. You're going to draw 5, get rid of 1, pick one that you want to keep, pass them forward. So if you're in first place, you're only getting 1 card and you're just stuck with it. That's really great to me because if you're in first place, you have the least strategic variance out of everybody. You're getting the leftovers, the hand-me-downs. And so first place shifts and changes a lot, and I think that's a huge, huge, huge plus. So this game keeps things fresh, keeps things balanced, keeps things tight till the very end, and I think that is wonderful. So lots of praise there. Only negatives or critiques I would say is just this is a cost-effective, it's a lower budget game. Again, Weird knew what they were making. None of this hurts the game in any way, but you know, there's no deluxeified edition here. We've got basic meeples. We've got some really nice executed barrels. I really like what they did there. But again, everything is on the lower end. The cards are that plasti material. They're not, you know, linen finish, anything like that. Everything is on the lower end of production value, but that doesn't hurt the game or the experience you're going to have here at the table. And so I say it's a good thing. It keeps the cost where you want it to be. It's not going to break the bank to get this added to your collection, but it is really fun. Obviously, the other critique would be this is a 2 to 4 player game, so that does limit a lot of things. Like if you have groups like mine, you're looking for 5, 8 player games. This game obviously sticks in that kind of classic. Very, very much we're capping at 4-player game count. I would love to see a 5th-player expansion for this come out to really even open that up a little bit more. I think that would be really cool. But again, this game knows what it wants to be, and it does it. It does it in a really, really good way. So again, if you're looking for a racing game, I think this is a great thing to have in your collection. I love racing games. There's lots of fun to be had in that genre, from Camel Up or Unicorn Fever to Downforce. Like, there's a lot of fun there, and this game finds a cool niche. The managing your VPs through the board is unique, in my opinion, and it's fun, and they do a good job with it. So if you're looking to add a racing game to your collection, I would encourage you to check out Bayou Bash by Weird Games. They do a great job with this, and I'm really excited to see what games they bring to the table in the future. So that is my review of Bayou Bash. I hope you enjoyed getting a look at everything, and I hope that you'll continue to come to Meeple Mountain for all of your board game related needs. So again, thank you for checking out this video, and as always, happy gaming. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Check out some of our other Meeple Mountain content. I promise you won't be disappointed. This is Tyler Williams, signing off.